Friends, this man was trapped in a box where bees were being released periodically, and at times, the box was completely filled with water. Finally, how did this man get stuck in this situation? We need to find out. At the beginning of the story, we are introduced to a special agent named Jeremy. When he opened his eyes, he found himself in a completely different place. It was like a small box. Jeremy was very scared, not knowing where he was being taken. Before long, a countdown started in front of Jeremy. He had no idea where he was. Near him was a radio with a voice of a man named Henry coming through. Henry was telling Jeremy that he had also been kidnapped and was trapped in a similar box. When Jeremy asked, Henry revealed that he was also a special agent like Jeremy. After a while, Jeremy received a message saying that they were moving, meaning they might be confined in a vehicle's trunk or a truck. There was also a little light, which made Jeremy realize that it was a rectangular glass box. Jeremy spent several hours in this manner. Then, a piece of paper came out of a hole in the box. When Jeremy read it, it said, "Tell me the location of Roulette." Roulette was the president of the United States, who had gone underground. The responsibility of securing the president was given to Jeremy and his team. From these clues, Jeremy understood that he had been kidnapped by a terrorist group and that they wanted him to reveal the president's location. A different man's voice came over the president's radio, named Bob, who was a truck driver. Jeremy asked Bob for help, saying he was trapped in a truck and needed to be rescued. Following Jeremy's request, Bob first asked Jeremy to honk the truck's horn 3 times. After honking, Jeremy got an idea of where Bob might be. In fact, Jeremy was trapped inside a truck. Bob's truck was behind him, but after a while, as Bob approached the truck, the man driving the truck started speeding up because he realized someone was following him. Now, Jeremy could not even get a signal from Bob. After that, Jeremy became very depressed about how he would get out. A few hours later, Jeremy's wife, Mian, came on the radio. Jeremy kept telling his wife that he had been kidnapped and was trapped in a truck, so he asked her to call the police. However, Mian thought that Jeremy was just pretending and drinking alcohol again. Because of this, Jeremy's wife did not trust him. But then, Mian suddenly started screaming. In fact, the man who had kidnapped Jeremy had also kidnapped Mian. Jeremy kept shouting to release his wife, but the man said that Jeremy had to quickly provide the location of the president or else they would kill his wife. No matter what Jeremy said, the radio was cut off, and now Jeremy's troubles were increasing. Suddenly, many bees started coming out of the hole in the box, causing a lot of trouble. After a while, Jeremy lost consciousness due to suffocation. The bees eventually died, giving Jeremy a little relief, but his body was covered in numerous stings. Jeremy's condition was like a bird trapped in a cage. Then Jeremy saw that there was a driver in the hole of the box, and this truck driver had kidnapped him. The driver told Jeremy to provide the location of the president, and then they would release him. But Jeremy was very angry and started cursing at him. As soon as Jeremy put his hand in the hole, the man burned Jeremy's hand. Jeremy realized that they were not going to release him easily, so he started thinking of other ways to get out. Jeremy contacted Henry, the man on the radio, and they discussed who had met with whom first. Jeremy then noticed that the truck had suddenly stopped, and he began to hear the sound of police sirens. In fact, the truck had stopped at a checkpoint where the police were inspecting all vehicles. The truck driver had threatened Jeremy, saying that if he made any noise, his wife would be killed. However, Jeremy was not the type to sit quietly. He kept shouting for help. The police heard Jeremy's voice, and as they approached the truck driver started to flee. Gunfire erupted all around, and one of the bullets hit Jeremy, causing him significant pain. The police continued to chase the truck, and the driver lost control, crashing the truck. Jeremy saw through the hole that the driver had become unconscious and cleverly managed to retrieve the driver's mobile phone. He immediately called 911 for help. However, Jeremy then heard the barking of a dog, and he realized that the dog's owner was also present. In his fear, Jeremy continued to call for help, but the dog's owner started to open the truck. Just then, Jeremy saw an unknown man come and eliminate the dog's owner, and then he began to drive away with the truck. Jeremy was confused about what was happening. Since he had the mobile phone, he called his friend Ben, who was surprised to hear that Jeremy was still alive. Ben informed Jeremy that the terrorist group had revealed that they were responsible for Jeremy's kidnapping. Jeremy begged Ben for help, but Ben said he would call back in half an hour. The other man continued to drive the truck at high speed, causing Jeremy a lot of discomfort. After half an hour, Ben called back, and this time, Jeremy's wife, Mian, was also on the call. Mian was very worried, and Jeremy told them everything. How the terrorist group was asking for the president's location, and if he provided the location, they would release him. Mian asked why Jeremy didn't just give them the location. Then the call was cut off, but Jeremy was a very loyal employee. He could not reveal the president's location to anyone because it could endanger the president's life. Suddenly, Ben said that Jeremy's wife might have been taken by the same people who kidnapped him. Ben kept insisting that Jeremy should do what they asked, or else his wife would also be in danger. However, Jeremy was not ready to accept any of this. The man in the truck kept asking Jeremy for the president's location, but Jeremy firmly refused to disclose it, even if it meant losing his own life. Suddenly, water started filling up the box where Jeremy was trapped. In no time, Jeremy's entire body was submerged in water, with only his face remaining above the surface and quickly about to be submerged. Jeremy continued to try to break the box, but it was too solid. Fearful, he lost consciousness, and his chances of survival seemed slim. But luck was on Jeremy's side as some police officers arrived promptly and rescued him. There were many officers present, and Ben also came to reveal that it was all just a test. Jeremy was confused. In fact, the security agents for the president undergo such tests to ensure their loyalty. If they are trapped in such a situation, it checks whether they reveal the president's location or not. Ben, pleased, informed Jeremy that he had passed the test. Jeremy was somewhat relieved, realizing that everything that happened to him in the past few hours had been staged by the team. Jeremy's wife, Mian, also arrived, and they took him to the hospital. Seeing his wife, Jeremy was very happy. Mian kept asking Jeremy if the president was at the American Monument. Jeremy looked towards the American Monument and smiled, confirming that the president was safe there. After that, Mian promptly handcuffed Jeremy, and then he instructed his driver and the others to go to the American Monument and eliminate the president because he would be there. Poor Jeremy was asking if this was also part of the test. Mian then asked the driver what should be done with Jeremy. The driver instructed that Jeremy should be finished off, and Mian, in turn, killed her own husband, Jeremy. In reality, everything had been meticulously planned. Ben, Mian, and the others present were all members of the terrorist organization. They needed to find the president's location by any means necessary, but they knew beforehand that Jeremy would not easily reveal the location. Therefore, they set a trap for Jeremy and, in the end, extracted the location from him. Following this, the entire team of terrorists went to the American Monument to deal with the president. This was how Jeremy's story ended.